Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and thanks for your patience as we got everything running here. I am Jonah, and I am from Discover, and today we have Sharai Robbin. So excited to have her here. But before we get started or rolling, just want to make sure you all can hear us and everything is sounding and looking good. So please hop in the comments. Let us know that you can see and hear us all right. Sharai, would you give just a little wave and a hello so we can make sure tech's working?
Hello. I'm super. Can you hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear?
You are. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yay,
Uh,
I'm so excited.
yeah, and everyone watching, feel free to pop into the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from, maybe how you heard about Discover or Sharai, any other things you're excited to learn. I know we are going to be learning a lot today. Sharai has a lot of info she's packed into a tight amount of time, which is awesome. Set a couple expectations, and I saw the question as well in the comments. If Sharai is moving fast, or the dog comes in the room, or the floor starts flooding and you have to deal with it, don't worry about it. There will be a replay available. It'll be emailed to you. It'll be available on the YouTube, and it will also be available on the event page for the Discover page. And also, if you have questions throughout, if you can just scribble them down and save them till the end, we will have a proper Q&A. If you have nowhere else to take notes, pop them in the comments. We'll try and get back to them. But if you can save them to the end, it gives us a little more guarantee that we can get to them. And just want to call out a couple here because we have from North Carolina, we got from Arlington, we got, and then all the way from Mexico.
Hey, Katie.
Yay! Thank you all so much for
Hi.
tuning in.
Valerie from Chicago. Oh, this is so exciting. Hi, guys. Don't be shy. I'm not shy. So don't be shy. Engage in the chat. I love to have an engaging conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to talk to you. So talk back to me because I got lots of good stuff for you guys today.
Awesome. We're going to have so much fun. And then
We are.
Just to give a proper introduction here, we got Sharai Robbin, and she is going to teach us how to write a book in 90 days or less without the stress. We can expect to learn to discover a framework that's going to help you write a book from start to finish in just 90 days without the stress or overwhelm. And a little background on Sharai. Sharai Robbin is a master of literary transformation, a Simon & Schuster best-selling author, professional editor, and celebrity ghostwriter who shares her passion for serving aspiring authors with her team of literary BAEs, badass editors. Together, they help struggling writers discover the greatness in their stories and teach them how to write with confidence so they can publish books that grow their influence, impact, and income.
That's it.
Whew, with all that said, I don't want to take up any more time, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Sharai.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonah. So hello, hi, Ingrid. Hello, everybody. Hi, Linda. I'm so excited. So I'm not even going to waste any time. We're going to dive into this conversation right away, and I'm going to share as much as I can with you. Let me multitask, make sure that I'm as tech savvy as I need to be, and I can get all this information to you guys. So are you guys good? You can see, all right, I can see everything that's rocking and rolling. Okay, good. So again, make sure that you are engaging in the chat, and we're going to have a good time today. So today's conversation, or what we're going to get into, is basically the first part. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about myself, give you an introduction, and then we're going to talk about some mistakes that new writers make and how to avoid these mistakes. And then I'm going to get into my PAIN method. It's my PAIN framework. It is one of the core frameworks in the Write Your Book, Build Your Brand program that is a part of the Teachable platform, and we'll talk about that today as well. But I'm coming with some heavy goals today, right? So I really want to make sure that I'm giving you everything that I've come to give you. And this message, this conversation is for you if you're here because you want to simplify the writing process, right? If you have been struggling to write for a while, if a book has been on your heart for some time, this message is for you. And it's for you if you want to use your story, your life experiences, what you've been through, if you want to use those specific parts of your life to help other people. That's all I'm about. It's like helping you help somebody else. And this is also for you if you want to have a professionally published book. No shade. but I know that I've picked up a ton of manuscripts, a ton of published books, and they're not quite professionally done. And you can tell by the color, you could tell by the format or the font. There's just something not quite right about the book, and that's not what I want for you. And if that's what you want a book that holds you in high regard, that represents you and your brand and your message in its full authority and full capacity, then this conversation is for you this evening. And it's also for you if you want to become a recognized authority on your topic. If you know a whole lot about something, if you've been through something and you want to share that, this is for you today. And so I have some very specific goals. My goals are for you if you have already started writing, right? If you are one of those people who's been writing for some time, if you've been struggling to write for 5, 10, and I'd like to know that, right? How many of you here, if you can share in the chat, how long have you been working on this particular story, this one manuscript? Is it 5 years? Are we talking 10 years? I mean, people sometimes it's 20, 25, 30 years that people are holding on to these stories. And so my goal tonight is for you, if you have already started writing, I want to shortcut that process for you. I want to teach you how to do something that you've been struggling to do over years. I want to teach you how to do it in a very short and condensed amount of time. And if you have not started writing, I want to show you how to get on a good foot right out the gate. Okay. I want you to start writing right the very first time. So those are my goals for you this evening. And I want to ask you, or I want to share with you this information because, like I said, there are a lot of people who are holding on to their story for a very long time. And I want to see if I can see how long some of you have been holding on to your story, right? I'm writing a memoir for 4 years. Oh, see, and then sometimes I get, like I said, people who are talking 10, 20 years that they've been holding on to a particular story. And I also want to share this information with you tonight. If you know that your story is valuable, right? You know that your message, your life experiences can help somebody else. I like to say that our stumbling blocks become someone else's stepping stones. So what you've been through, if you know that it can help somebody else, and this conversation is for you. And that's why it's important for you tonight to be tuned in. And it's also important if you know that a book can grow your business and help you make money while you're asleep. I don't know about you, but I like I like that kind of income coming in. As a mother, I like for those funds to come. So that works for me, and I want it to work for you too. And if you know that a book can open up doors for you, speaking opportunities, speaking engagements, television appearances. One of our recent students, she just spoke at a huge conference in Dallas, Texas. She was the keynote speaker. Another one of our writers just landed a 6-figure coaching opportunity because she published her book, and they chose her over her competition. So this is really important for you to get this message out and get it out now. This is also, if you're wondering how Sharai, how am I going to fit writing a book into my hectic life? Is publishing a book even worth it? Right? If with all the work that has to go into it, is this something I should even invest my time in? Right? How many of you have ever wondered that? Right? Is this possible for me? Is this something I can even really do? And is it worth it for me to even do that? Right? Is this something that I should even do, or is it worth it for me to do that? And how many of you have wondered, how do I market this thing? Yeah, I want to write it, but then how do I get it out here? How do I actually market it and get it into other people's hands? So this is for you tonight, and I want you to get focused. I want you to silence your phones, have your notebook ready, get locked in, because I'm going to give you plenty of information as we join into this conversation tonight. So who am I? A little bit about me. As Jonah said, I am Sharai Robbin, Simon & Schuster bestselling author, editor, publisher, literary coach, all-around word nerd, and I absolutely love what I do. I'm the founder of Good Ground Literary Services. I've also signed with Simon & Schuster, and I have been an editor, can you believe it, for 20 years now. 20 years, it's crazy. So I'm officially a master at my craft, which is pretty cool. And over the years, I have helped hundreds of aspiring authors write and publish books. I've created a 6-figure business helping authors achieve their literary dreams. I've developed an incredible team of editors. They're called my literary bays. That's my BAE, my badass editors. You might need you a bay. And I've closed over $500,000 in sales. I've ghostwritten 11 books in the last 5 years. So I might know just a little bit of something about writing. help my clients make thousands of dollars on their book launch and turn their stories into profitable coaching businesses and consulting businesses. And I've created the Write Your Book, Build Your Brand program to teach you how to do all of this. And so I'm going to be giving you some secrets in the program as we get into it today. Okay. So our goal, myself and my team, the Literary Bees, our goal is to help people discover the greatness in their stories and teach them how to write with confidence so they can publish books that grow their influence, impact, and income. That's what we're all about. Myself and my incredible team of Literary Bees. Aren't they beautiful? I love my bees. They so bad. And they help me do what I do. So I get to be the voice of this, but I'm not alone in what I teach. And what I'm sharing with you tonight, these are the principles that are a part of how we help writers get it done. So like I said, I get to be the face of this thing, and I get to share this message with you tonight. But we're a unified front, and this is how we get the job done, this information I'm going to share with you tonight. Okay? Cool? Everybody rocking and rolling with me because I'm just so excited. Awesome. Cool. I see some stuff in the chat. Let me move that up a little bit. Got it. Okay. So I want you to go with me for a moment, and I want you to take a second, and I want you to imagine, right? I want you to imagine what your life is like if you actually, finally wrote that book that you've been holding on to for years. Those of you who said in the chat, they've been working on them in their manuscript for 4 years, on and off. We got another 4 years. Some said they wrote their book 2001. Oh, it was on 9/11. Okay, now I misread that, but I got you. Okay. But if you have been holding on to your book for a long time, I really want you to think of what that feels like. Like really in your mind, what is that word? If you had one word to describe what that is for you, if you actually got that done, what would that word be? Interestingly enough, I hear so many times words like freedom, words like relief, words like accomplishment, being able to actually get this done. And the biggest ones for me are always that freedom, people feeling stuck and held down, held back by not being able to get their story out. So I want to help you get that done tonight. Okay. So I also want you to imagine what it's like for you if you were successfully published, if you got this done without breaking the bank, without losing all your money, spending all your savings, but you were actually able to become a successfully published author. What is that like for you? Big dreams too. I don't want you to live with limits. I want you to think big. What is that? What is possible for you in that space? And I also want you to imagine what is your life like if you were a recognized influencer in your industry. You were getting booked on 5-figure stages to speak and to tell your story without confusion or wasted effort. This is what you were able to accomplish. What is life like for you at that point? Imagine that for you and share that in the chat. What are those words? What are the first things that come to mind if this becomes your reality, this dream that you've been holding on to, you've been thinking about, you've been shoulda, coulda, woulda in it for years now? What is that actually like for you to actually make it happen? Okay. And so the truth is, I have done a lot of things right in this business. Catharsis. I like that one. It's like a release. She got to get that out. But the truth is, I've done a lot of things right. Over the years, I've done a lot of things right. And I have done a lot of things wrong. But today, I'm giving up all the details. I'm giving you all the deets. And I want to ask this question for you guys that are hanging out tonight. Do you believe that one book can really change your life? Right? And I want you to answer that question if you can. Do you genuinely believe it? Like believe it to be the truth that one book, just one, can actually change your life? You got yes, finally. Somebody says finally. Yes, can one book actually change your life? And the truth is that some people are watching this and they go, maybe, possibly, I think so. And you're watching it and you're seeing it work for other people, but you're wondering, is this possible for me? Oh, for sure. Oh, hell yes. Yeah. Hey, Melissa says, oh, hell yes. I got it. I love it. Absolutely. For sure. Will this work for me? And the thing is, I used to have the same question, right? I used to have the exact same question, right? And so this is me. No judgment. This is a judgment-free zone, guys, right? So I get to be my full and total self. But this is me geeking over Omar Tyree at the Harlem Book Fair in June of 2011. I am like a super fan, urban fiction, and he's from Philadelphia like myself. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind, right? And at this time I was freelancing at a small publishing house. I was doing everything I could to be in the business and in the industry. And after this, I decided that this was it for me. right? I knew at that moment that there was no turning back. I was going to venture out. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to do this thing. And I take the leap. I take the bold leap of faith. I finish my manuscript. I shop it around and I get this deal and get signed with Simon and Schuster. And so fast forward right now, I'm looking from years later, from this aspiring daydreamer to now this six-figure CEO, speaker, coach, publisher, all these amazing things that I get to do, this incredible life that I get to live, this literary life, right? As one of my favorite professors used to say, we could talk about literature all day. This literary life that I get to lead, and it's all because of one book. It is all because of one book. I get to change my entire life. I get to travel freely. I get to spend time with my daughters, all because of one book, right? It blows my mind sometimes when I think about it, like all of this, these magazine covers, these opportunities, these incredible clients, because I wrote one book, you guys. Now, I've written several since then, but one book, right, changed my entire life. So for you, if you want to get paid for what you know, you want to grow your brand, you want more recognition as an authority, and you want more time with your family, all you need is one book. Just one. Just one. That's all you need. Just one. And I want to see that in the chat. Do you believe it? Just one. And if you believe it, put that in just once. I love my Philly folks. Hey, Philly. One book. That's all you need. If you believe that, let me see that. And so today I know what it means to write and publish a profitable story, right? And so after years of guessing, I have a formula, a secret formula that works. And that is what I'm sharing with you tonight. That's what I'm sharing with you right now. So we're going to get into it. We're going to get into how to write your book in 90 days or less without the stress. Okay, y'all ready? So we got 3 secrets we're going to get into. Secret number 1, figuring out the type of book that you're writing. I promise you, this one is going to blow your mind. And when it does, I just want you to say, Sharai, mind blown. I need to see that in the chat. When you get to that point and I blow your mind, I just want you to confirm for me that it has happened. And you say, Sharai, mind blown. Okay. So secret number 1. Secret number 2, we're going to talk about why your why matters. And secret number 3 is it's like one of the big cornerstones in the Write Your Book, Build Your Brand program. It's a huge framework that I'm going to teach you. It's a part of many of the frameworks that we have in Write Your Book, Build Your Brand. We're going to teach you our pain method as we get into our conversation today. Okay. Everybody got it. So got just one. I see it. Hi, B Rose. Hello, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. Awesome. Got it. Okay, cool. So sound like a plan. Everybody game. We ready to go? Let's get into it. Okay, secret number 1, figuring out the type of book that you are writing. Let's figure this out first, okay? Here's the thing. Most people believe that it takes forever to write a book. That is the belief. Oh my gosh, it takes forever. I have to write a book. It's going to take me my entire lifetime. Or they think that writing a book is hard as hell. It is hard as all hell. It's hard as all get out. It is this impossible feat. And this is it. And neither of those are true. Right? Neither one is true. And here's what happens though to people who believe this. When people think about writing a book as this monumental task, as this thing that is going to take forever, it winds up taking forever, right? That's what happens. If you're thinking about it that way, you think it's going to be this impossible feat, then, well, it becomes this impossible feat. So they take years struggling to actually write, or they wind up never writing at all. Never getting it done. And writing a book continues to be the number 2 New Year's resolution every year. Every year, about 83% of Americans want to write a book, and less than 2% actually accomplish that goal. Why? Because they're going into it the wrong way. And we're going to explain all of that to you. For me as an editor, I'm like, Lord Jesus, why? What is the problem? Fix it, Jesus. Okay, please, because we got to get this information to the people. And trust me, I get it. I absolutely get it. Like I said, I gave you guys my backstory. I've been doing this for a while. So I know that writing a book can be intimidating. I'm certain of it. I fully understand it. But here is the thing. Here's the thing. You can write a book in as little as 3 months if you first and foremost identify the type of book that you are writing. What type of book is this? right? And so I talk about one of my amazing clients, Dr. Freddie Haynes. And when I think about the busyness, right, being busy, this man is an incredible mega pastor down in Dallas. He does incredible things. He's an activist. He's a pastor. He's a speaker. He's just amazing. And I don't meet many people who are busier than Dr. Haynes. I just don't, right? Very few people are busier than Dr. Haynes, but we were able to get his book project done so quickly and efficiently because we identified the type of book that this particular project was. Not that the man can't write 400 books on anything, because that's how brilliant he is, but this specific, type of book we were able to get done because we locked in on what kind of book it was. And so the truth is, most new authors go into this backwards, right? They go into it, as my dad would say, bass backwards. You're thinking about it backwards, and you waste a lot of time trying to tell your entire life story. How many of you are like, I want to tell what happened in my life, but I need to figure out how to tell my whole life, right? I got to tell all of the things that happened to me in my whole life, right? And so now you're struggling, you're stuck trying to figure out how to fit your whole life in one book and make it make sense, right? And that's the big struggle, is that you waste a tremendous amount of time trying to take your whole life and put it into one book, because you're thinking, tell my life story. Let me tell you my whole life story. That means the type of book that you're writing is an autobiography, right? This is an autobiography. And if you're thinking autobiography, you're thinking like this. You're thinking becoming like Michelle Obama, this 300 plus page text that can take anywhere from 10 months to 10 years to write. You're talking about everything from grade school up into graduation, college, marriage, divorce, whatever happens into you in between. All of that has to be written well, written in an engaging format, keep us going and turning the pages. That is a monumental task. Absolutely no ounce of doubt about it. That's a big baby to try to get done. Okay. But I want you to stop thinking this way. This is my challenge for you tonight. I want you to stop thinking that you have to tell your entire life's journey. Instead, right, and this is my challenge for you. Instead, I want you to think about sharing a specific message with a specific audience that gets them a specific result. I want you to start thinking about your audience as the winner in your story. Your audience, the person reading your book, they are the hero of your story. They are the person that needs to win. You are giving them a specific message. It's not all about your entire life, but it's about the principles and the experiences and what you learned along the way that you're going to share. Not every single thing that's happened to you. So I want you to get out of the mindset of tell my story and hoping that it resonates and inspires people. Instead, I want you to start thinking, let me share my message. Let me share my story about overcoming these hurdles and obstacles from a domestic abuse relationship, from a traumatic sexual experience, from losing my job, from whatever, from a health scare. Let me share the message of overcoming and teach someone how to do that thing. And that connects with them and incites them into action so that you actually change somebody's life, as opposed to just telling them everything that happened to you in your life. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope that clicks. I hope that comes in loud and clear. So number one is the hardest area for you. I hope that this connects and makes good sense for you this evening, and that you understand the point that I'm trying to bring home to you, because these are two different type of books entirely. Two different type of books completely. We've got one on the left that's a huge autobiography. These books are massive. You're looking at 300 plus page books. Whereas on the right, we have simple books, 9 steps to living the life you love, 9 habits to a happier, healthier, and more resilient you. These are specific books with an end goal in mind. These are shorter, more impactful, more direct, with a specific audience, a targeted goal, and we know exactly what we're writing about. We have the stories lined out that we're going to share. It's not my whole life, but there are components of my life that I'm going to share that touch on the lessons that are important for me in this message that I'm giving to other people. Okay? Does that make sense for you guys? Mind blown. Mind blown. I appreciate it. Makes sense. Makes sense. I appreciate it. Let me know. And again, yes, mind blown. Because that's where I often see that writers really, really struggle. And so I want you to take a moment and to share in the chat if you are clear on the type of book that you're writing. Do you know what type of book you're actually writing? Or are you just writing your story, right? Do you know the type of book that you're actually writing? Okay. All right. Let me see that. And then secret number 2, we're going to dive into, because I got to go. I got to keep rolling, guys, and give you all this information. Secret number 2, we're going to go into why your why matters. Why does having a why in this process actually matter? Okay, so why does your why matter? And your why matters in this occasion, especially if you are a nonfiction author, because you have to understand why you're doing this in the first place. Why are you here? Why are you going to sit down and submit yourself to this process? Why is this? Is it for a cause? Is it for a bigger purpose? Is it because you want to change lives? Is it because you want to bless people? Is it because you don't want them to make the same mistakes that you made, right? It's important that we get that why down. And oftentimes when I would travel and go spend time with my writers, I would get them to write their why out on a big piece of paper and slap it somewhere. Put it on a board, put it on in front of your screen, put it somewhere where we can see it. And that continuously reminds you of why we're here and why you need to sit your tail down and get this done. Because that why often reminds you that it's not about you, right? That why is for somebody else. And so your why and identifying why you are doing this in the first place is going to help keep you on task. It's going to help keep you where you need to be. So when someone's calling you to go out and hang out, you want to go, watch another episode of that show. No, your why is going to remind you that this is purpose for something. We had a writer who gave all of her funds and everything that she's built. She's just got her honorary doctorate recently. It's just, her life is just incredibly changed because of one book. She's done 3 more books after this. But being able to understand that her why was that she wanted to start a nonprofit for women who were survivors of domestic abuse. And so that kept her going. When it was hard, when I was kicking her butt in these edits, she kept going because she had that why smack dab in front of her. And I remember earlier seeing somebody ask a question about writer's block. And this is often the why. Having your why in front of you keeps you on task. It helps remind you of why you're here and also helps you stay focused. Stay focused on the goal at hand. If we're saying that this book is going to help women overcome certain things in their life, then we don't have a whole lot of unnecessary stuff going on in here. We're focused on that one end goal. This is the specific goal. We have a target and we're locked in on that target. And this is what we're going to achieve in this manuscript. Not a whole bunch of everything else. This is what we're working on. It also helps you clarify your specific goals. So you know that within your manuscript, you're going to be talking, you're going to have certain teaching points, certain lessons, certain information that you want to share. So it's important for you to know your why so that you can be very, very clear on what your goals are. Okay? Makes sense? Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Also, it also helps you eliminate unnecessary content. So when and this happens all the time, you're writing something or you write your initial outline and then you get a brilliant idea. And then you saw something on TV and then somebody else said something to you. And now it's like, you know what? I want to put that in my book too. Oh, I want to put this in my book. I heard this on the radio the other day. And now I want to add this in my book. Does it line up with your why? Is it consistent with why we're here in the first place? Or is it just something that sparked that creative energy in you and now you feel like you want to try to fit that in this book also? Everything doesn't have to go into one book. Okay. You can write more than one book, right? Just in case somebody didn't tell you that. You can write multiple books. So I want you to think about your why as helping you eliminate all that unnecessary fluff. You don't need it. Get this unnecessary content and stuff out of the way. Okay. Your why is also going to help you save time and streamline the process because we know what we're doing here, because we're clear, because we're intentional. We know our purpose in this. We don't have a whole lot of things holding us up so we can stay on track to get this done. So I want you to write down your why. Write down your why. Put your why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to share your story? And if you can share it in the chat, if you're bold enough, if you can share it in the chat, then go ahead and share it in the chat. But if that's not your cup of tea, share it with yourself on a piece of paper, big and bold. Hand write it out. Write out your why and slap it somewhere so that you can look back at it and reference it often, frequently. Okay? Yes, you can write multiple. We've had several clients move through the process, learn how to write a book within the infrastructure that we teach and write your book, build your brand. And then they do it again and again and again because it's a system. This is what works. And so I'm trying to teach you as much as I can tonight, but we've got an opportunity for us to work together and give it to you all in the program. Okay. All right. So why your why matters. Okay. And people write books for a ton of reasons. People write books because they want to recognition. They want to receive awards and accolades. We've got writers who have won book awards. We've got writers who've become philanthropists and won awards for their philanthropy coming from the book. It's just some amazing things that have happened because of that. Excuse me. Some people want to write books because they can make money. I mean, it happens. This is a part of it, right? People also write books because they want to feel a part of a community. They want to feel like they are contributing to their society. They want to give and feel like they are adding to the world around them, right? And that's where a lot of our writers are in the program, is that they want to help. So they feel like contributing, like that's their heart, that's their purpose, is being able to share their message with other people. So what is your why, right? Why do you want to write your book in the first place? And there just so happens to just strangely and oddly be these people who actually like to write. I don't know who these weirdos are, but they hang out with people like me, right? My baes and I, and people actually like to write. They enjoy the writing process. And the truth is, none is better than the other, right? There's no why that takes more precedence than another, right? They are all as equally and valuably important. It's just important that you know, right, that you are crystal clear on your why and what your why is. And so if you can hang out and focus on and identify what your why is, you can stop struggling with this. You can stop struggling with trying to tell everything that happened in your entire life. And you can focus with 3 months of clear intention and a strategy to get you to the end goal, and you can get a book done. And this is how we've helped so many of our amazing clients, because they identify what the why is. Why are we writing this particular book? So Dewana helping women who are going to have cosmetic surgery. She wanted to make sure that she provided a resource for them, right? And she could have written 1,000 other things, but we did this book in record time, right? Because she knew what the why was. Again, thinking about when I said Dr. Haynes, another busy writer, a client of ours, Joshua. Joshua's amazing. He's absolutely amazing, but he's doing a million different things all over the place, but able to get this book project done in record time because there was a why. We were intentional about what we were doing in this particular project, and he knew why he was going to write this book, what he was going to use it for, and that was it. So we focused on getting that done in 90 days. Kiara as well, 90 days. Wrote her book, got it finished, got it published, and and we had a conversation the other day, and she said that she was selected to be a speaker at an event, and they chose her over another writer because she had a real book. That's what because Kiara has a real book, and I was like, I know what that means, and some of you know what that means too, right? So this works if you understand what your why is. And I think about Obiama. This is the writer I was talking about, who pushed through and persevered and told her story, and started the nonprofit for women of domestic abuse who survived domestic abuse. But Obiama also was so transparent and so determined in knowing where her why was, that she shared her why along her journey. She started a prayer group on Facebook with women, and she would get on in the morning and pray and worship and really go through this process of being open and vulnerable about what she was going through in this writing journey. And she built such a huge following because of that she was able to have an entire cruise. Hear me, y'all, a cruise. She had a whole cruise themed around her book before the book even released, because she knew what her why was. And she kept going when it got challenging, even though it was hard. She pushed through because she knew exactly where her why was. Okay. All right. So just more about one of my wonderful clients. I love me some Obiama. So I'll talk about her all the time. So we'll move on to secret number 3. Okay. Does that make sense? Everybody good with that? Is that good? I know I see some stuff in the chat. Why? So others can benefit from the lessons I've learned without having to make the same mistakes. That's what I'm talking about. Our stumbling blocks can become somebody else's stepping stones. Help other people. Yes. Real book. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, absolutely. Young adults experience depression, self-harm. I love it. Teach them, Elizabeth. Give them the answers. All right. So I'm going to give you some more answers tonight. We're going to talk about the PAIN method. We're going to talk about the PAIN, the PAIN method, when it comes to writing your book. And I'm going to share with you what that is, what it's all about, and why I teach it this way. So this is, again, one of the founding principles of Write Your Book, Build Your Brand, and it's the PAIN method. And so when you think about PAIN, PAIN, you're often thinking like, oh my gosh, this is a pain. Excuse me, writing a book is a pain. It's a pain in the butt. I'm frustrated. I don't want to do this. I'm ready to pull my hair out. I'm losing my mind. So you're thinking pain along those lines. But I want you to shift, right? If you haven't noticed yet, I'm all about shifting your mindset, because that's where it starts, right? It's getting your mind clear and focused on the right things, but shifting your mindset. And I want you to start thinking about pain a different way. And the way that we work through pain in the program is really the foundation for understanding who you are as a writer and what we're doing here. Okay. And so if we understand your pain, it breaks down like this. That first P is for your purpose. It's for your purpose, right? And what is that purpose? The purpose for me when I work with writers is really me asking you, what are you compelled to share? There is something that has brought you here. There is something that has brought you to this, that's made you register for this session. There is something that's made you think about this book forever and ever. There is something that is on your heart that you have to share. What is that? What is that thing? What do you feel like you are purposed to do and to share in this life, in this space, with this book, with this particular opportunity? What is that thing? And I want you to find that. I want you to take some time and do a deep dive into that. What is your purpose here? What do you feel compelled and led to share? If you've had a tremendous amount of things go on in your life and you feel like these things have brought me to this place where I can be a light for others, where I can be a motivator and a speaker, then that's your purpose. Right? That's, you are purposed to help someone overcome a something, deal with a something, shed some light on a something. And I want you to be able to clearly identify and articulate your purpose. What is your specific purpose? Okay. That's your first part. So that's your P in pain. The next one is A, and that's for your angle, right? That is your unique author angle. So what angle are you coming from? What approach are you coming from? And what that means essentially is, what are you? You are the unique part of this conversation. It's you. It's your perspective. It's your life experiences. What is that? What are those specific things? What are you bringing to this conversation that people haven't heard before? How are you enriching this? Through what? And this is where you get to be you get to be your true and genuine self and share what you've gone through. You get to share here your life experiences. You get to share what makes you knowledgeable on this particular topic, right? The root word of authority is author. What allows you to be the person that stands up and says, I have something to say about this? It's because you've been through it. It's because you've experienced it. And that's your angle. You are coming from that perspective, from the person who has gone through this thing. So you have to be able to share parts of you to let people know that you've gone through these things. So this is your angle. What's that angle? What are those things that you know that have set you apart that other people may not know about this topic, that you're going to bring home and help build that authority for you? Okay. That's your angle. The next is your I, and that is your identity. That is your unique author identity. And that is, I love this one because it means that you get to decide how people see you, right? You get to decide how people receive you. And this is from the beginning. This helps to lay out the foundation for your brand, right? If you determine that you want to be received as funny, lighthearted, witty, charismatic, if you want to be stoic and very highbrow, right? If you want to give information, if you want to give the breakdown for something, right? If you are the kind of person who's very factual, very informative, very by the book, right? That's who you are. That's your identity, right? But that also means that's the same person who's going to show up on Facebook Live. That's the same kind of person who's going to show up on your post, on your LinkedIn post. That's the person that's going to show up when you're speaking and teaching. That's who you are. And you have to, and you can decide that, right? I want people to perceive me as the funny, lighthearted person who talks about books, or I want people to perceive me as the no holds barred, no jokes, I'm kicking booty, taking no names kind of person when it comes to getting things done. You get to determine that. You put that into place before we get started, because it will then determine how you're going to write what's inside of your book. Are you going to come across, like I said, very serious, or are you going to come across lighthearted and witty? And whatever this is, it should be uniquely you, who you genuinely are. And so you start to create this as a part of your brand, and you get this out here as a part of your messaging, because it is your unique identity. So what do you want people to say about you when you leave the room? My goodness, she's funny, or man, she gave me all these gems. My God, she talked for forever about all the books and stuff, but I got everything I needed. I know exactly what to do. What do you want people to say about you? That is your specific identity. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And the N in pain is your next steps. So what's next for you? What do you want this book to do for you? What's next? What is next for you? Do you want this book to open up doors for you? Do you want this book to help you become a speaker, a teacher, a coach? Do you want to turn this book into workshops and seminars? Do you want to host master classes and webinars and programs? What do you want? Do you want to turn this into curriculum? We've had numerous writers turn their content into curriculum. One of our writers is actually getting his content we're finishing up we actually finished the design on his workbook, and they're teaching it in the New York City School District. We have another writer who is teaching her content at a theological college in Pennsylvania, and another who is teaching it at a community college in Pennsylvania. So what do you want? Right? This is where we decide what you want coming into this equation. What do you want your life to be like as a result of writing this book? What is that? Take a minute and write that down. Be intentional about that, because we get to decide. We get to decide right here, right now, today, and determine what those things are. So what's your pain? What is your pain, ladies and gentlemen, as we hang out this afternoon? What is your pain? What is your purpose? What is your angle? What is your specific identity? And what are your next steps? Once you finish this book, what's next for you? What do you want this book to do for you? Where do you want this book to take you? And I want you to be able to clearly and confidently articulate these things, okay? So this message is pure gold. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So that coming in clear, let me know in the chat how many of you are feeling the pain, understand what's required of you in the pain. Next step, retreats, absolutely. Speaking engagements, curriculum, all of the above, workshops, seminars. We had a writer host a 2-day workshop for speakers, a 2-day workshop for speakers. He charged $997 for the workshop for the weekend. 15 people showed up. He made $15,000 on the weekend. What you want? You can have it. All things are possible. You can have whatever you want, but you have to be intentional about what you want. And so we can get you to the finish line, but we have to know what you're after when you get there. This sets the tone for what we do inside of the book. What are we putting in here? Okay, you're more than welcome. What are we building into this baby? And that's all up to what you want. So this is, like I said, this is the cornerstone. It's one of our very first the frameworks within Write Your Book, Build Your Brand, to help you understand how we're going to get moving forward. Because we can't go forward. I can't let you write. I just can't. As an editor, I'm like, wait a minute. No, get back here. I can't let you just start writing until we can identify these components. Okay? Makes sense? You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. And so this makes me think of one of our writers, Ryan. Ryan came to us with a title, literally a title. He said, Sharai, I had a dream, and God told me I need to write a book called Fashion and Fatherhood. And I was like, what is it about? And he was like, Fashion and Fatherhood. And I was like, all right. Okay, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. What do you want? Right? What do you want? What do you feel like you're being led to share? Right? What do you feel like you're being led to share? And what unique perspective are you adding to this conversation? And how do you want people to perceive you? And then what do you want as a result of this book? And we broke that process down for Ryan. And now Ryan, I mean, he's just absolutely phenomenal. He is a host on WCCB Charlotte. He's got his own fashion line. He is an international best-selling author at this point in time. He's a philanthropist and started a nonprofit organization called Black Fathers Rock in the city of Charlotte. I just love Ryan and all that he's doing. And it's all because of one book. Hear me when I tell you, one book changed his life. Okay. But we work Ryan through that specific pain principle. And you can do the exact same thing, right? You can shortcut the process and get a book done with these secrets. If you understand, first and foremost, the type of book that you're writing, you understand why you're writing it, and you understand the pain, that PAIN, you can have a finished product in 90 days, right? You can write a book in 90 days or less if you know what type of book you're writing. If you understand why you're writing it in the first place, and if you understand and utilize what we call the pain method, that is going to help you get your book done. And with these 3 simple secrets alone, you can create a clear writing roadmap. You can have a clear and compelling message. It's going to help you save time. It's going to help you write with your audience in mind and write with an end goal in sight. So you know exactly what you're focusing on. You know exactly what you're here to do. You're going to come and deliver and give the people what they came to see. Okay, so that's what these secrets are going to help you do. And so the question is, what if you applied these secret formulas, right? What if you did this? What if you did these pieces and you shortcutted the process? If you understood the type of book, your why and your pain, and you had a finished product, what if you really did it, right? What if you really wrote one book? Is that possible for you to sell 25 copies of your book? a month and make 500 extra dollars. I don't know about you, but 500, I have children. So 500 extra dollars a month is a is a blessing, okay? So is that possible for you? Like what if you really did that? If you really wrote your book and you were able to turn it into an additional stream of income, right? Is that something that you can do? And the answer is absolutely. Minimal 25 copies a month of your $20 book. But what if you sold 1,000 copies? What if you sold 1,000 copies of your book and made $20,000? How greatly would your life change? How greatly would your life be impacted if you were able to do these things, right? How greatly would your life be impacted if you were able to sell 1,000 copies of your book? And so I want to take it a little bit further for you. And I'm going to run through this really quickly, but I want to take it what we like to call, let's take it beyond the book. And so what my team and I like to describe as monetizing your message. So how do we monetize your message? Now, remember, this is not your life story. We're not thinking about just telling you everything that happened to you in your life. We're now thinking a specific message. Remember, a specific message inside of this manuscript. So now that you have a specific message, can we multi-purpose this message? Can we turn this message into additional streams of income? Absolutely, for sure. We can turn this into, first we have books, of course, right? But then we can turn it into ebooks. We can turn it into audiobooks. We can turn it into coaching. Can you teach someone, those of you who are shared in the chat, that you want to teach people how to do something that you've overcome? Can you coach somebody an hour session and charge them $100? Is your time, your expertise, and your insight, the answers that you provide to someone, is it worth $100? Yes. Yes, it is. I don't want you to doubt yourself and think that it's not. It absolutely is. Can you do that for 100 people? You make $10,000. $10,000 by sharing the exact same message, the same information that's in your book, the same thing that you broke down and took time to map out and give us the answers for in your chapters. It's right here. It's right here. Now you can turn those same lessons, those same principles into speaking engagements, into conversation topics. And the big one that I love is courses. Of course, if I can teach you how to create a course, if you can take every chapter in your manuscript and turn it into a specific training module, can you have a course? Yes, absolutely. Yes, you can have a course. And $1,000 course sold 1,000 times is $1 million. I don't know about you, but there's like 1.4 billion people on Facebook. Your odds are pretty high. Right? They're pretty high. There's a lot of people out there looking to get the information that you're holding on to, that you're not sharing, that you're being stingy with. Give the people what they need. As TD Jake says, you have to be an answer, right? Be an answer for the people and give them the information that they need. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Awesome. And so let's go back for 1 second. So how do you change your position from struggling writer thinking about writing a book to a published author with a clearly defined brand story that grows your expertise and your business, right? And build your business? How do you go to, again, one of my wonderful clients, Obiama, or even Ryan? How do you make this happen? So I want y'all to go with me in my corny puns. You follow the formula. I know. Y'all gonna get it in a second. You follow the formula. See, my man is chilling. He got his feet up. He is relaxed. He is not stressed. Why? Because he has the formula. Got it? Okay. And that's how it works. You have the formula. You have the secret sauce. If you don't have the secret sauce, life is chaotic. If you don't know how to write your book, if you don't know how to organize your chapters, if you don't know how to make these things make sense, then you're going to be at this for a very, very long time. But there is a win, and I'm going to teach that to you, and that is a part of what we do in the writing community that my team and I have built in Write Your Book, Build Your Brand. And so I want to check in with you. I want to make sure that you're all okay. I know I went through a lot pretty quickly. I just wanted to make sure that I covered as much ground as I possibly could, and I want to make sure that this is helpful for you, that this information is helpful, that it has been good to you, that the secrets were juicy and succulent and rich, that you got some good stuff from me this evening. So type yes in the chat if this has been valuable. Thank you so much. That this has been valuable for you, that this information is good to you. So type yes in the chat this evening, right? So I want to say yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so Make sure I'm good. She says, yes, thank you so much. And so did you learn? Did you learn today? Did I teach you to this evening in our brief time together? How to stop struggling with your whole life story? How to stop trying to figure out how to cram everything in your life into one manuscript, and how to lock in onto why you're here, and how to share what we call your pain, your PAIN, to help you write your book in 90 days. Did you learn? Did I give you the information that I said I was going to give you this evening? I want to know, because we have covered secret number 1, identifying the type of book you're writing. Secret number 2, knowing why your why matters. And secret number 3, using your pain to get you published. We've covered all of this information this evening. And so my question for you is, what if you got all the secrets, right? We got 3. We've been through 3, right, just tonight. But there's a whole lot more. There's quite a few more, significantly a large amount more to get a book completed into the finish line. Excuse me. So what if you got those secrets? What if you learned the secrets to turn one book, to finish one book, and then to turn that book into a successful 6-figure business? Would that make a difference for you and in your life, right? And the question that I have for you is, what if I helped you? What if my team and I helped you? What if you were a part of a community where you could get this done? You could get the support to finish your book project, and you did not have to keep going at this alone. Would that be something that you would want to do? And so here it is. Right, here it is. Here's my baby, my flagship program. I love this program. It brings me so much joy to teach it, to be a part of it, to see the transformation in our writers' lives every single day, to see their successes and their wins, their breakthroughs as they're moving through this. It's just, and to see them encouraging one another. And so this is Write Your Book, Build Your Brand. And so within the program, essentially, it's all about helping you write your book as quickly and as painlessly as possible. It's all about helping you turn your message into multiple streams of income and helping you publish a book that grows your brand authority, your business, and your impact. So I'm just going to run through some of the things that are in the curriculum, that are in the program, but there's hundreds of secrets within the 9-module program that's on the Teachable platform. We've got a stock full of so much rich and valuable information for you guys. And we're talking about, number 1, defining your brand story. So who you are, your authority as an author, understanding what your particular message is, and then how do we build that authority in module 2? What's the right research? How do you find your target audience? And then I have my secret number 3, my dope writing hack. That one I couldn't give you, right? That's like patented. But I'm going to teach you how to write your chapters in a very easy and simple form. It's a very simple template that I put together over the years that works. It works, guys. It works. And it allows you to be able to have a kind of a cheat sheet if you want to talk your chapters out. But that's our writing hack in our module 3. We talk about writing a kick-ass intro so you snag your readers right from the start. We're also getting into content to coin so that you can turn your content into additional streams of income, at least 20 ways in that one module. Also our social media mastery. So you're not trying to figure out how to put your book out there, but you know what platforms to use, how to use them, when to use them, what to post. Also your book marketing plan, teach you how to publish your book and create your own publishing powerhouse, and how to have a bankable book launch. So all of this is a part of the curriculum. I'll speed kind of through these because these are all of the modules broken down a little further, but this is everything that's inside of the curriculum. And within this, you'll learn how to write and publish a book with ease and expert guidance, and you'll get the skills you need to turn your book into a 6-figure business. So that's the first part. Now, part number 2 is you get 6 months access. So it'll take you anywhere from 90 days to 6 months. But we give you the time. We give you time because, like I said, writing a book can be hard. And so there are some times where you're going to get pissed off and you're going to want to quit, but we don't want to make you feel the pressure of 90 days. But we do give you enough time to take a moment, to write it, to come back to it, to finish your draft, to figure some things out, to ask questions, to get it wrong. So you are, because that writing is going to fumble through it for a moment till you find your groove, till you find your voice. And that's okay, right? That's what the team and I are here for. So you get 6 months access to the program. Our coaching calls, there's nothing like them. There's nothing like our coaching calls. We have them every week. They are live. You have direct access to the calls as soon as you join the program. We also have all of our course toolbox, all of our worksheets, templates, all the research, everything you need to do is easily accessible for you. You don't have to Google anything or look for anything. It's all right here for you, from how to market your manuscript, how to publish it, step-by-step checklist, how to create your content. All of it is here within the program. How to find your audience, what questions to ask your audience, how to build your intro. I mean, there's nothing in this baby that, I mean, everything is in this baby. Another bonus that we've added to the program is our writer study hall. And so we get together and have dedicated time to write. This month, we're doing all Thursdays. So Thursdays from 7 to 9, we're going to have study hall. And so the writers come and we write together. Myself or one of the bays usually hosts the study hall, and we're on, and people determine, they set their intentions for the night, and we write. That's what we come do, and we're going to get it done, and we get these books done together, right? So you don't have to keep struggling with this and doing it by yourself. We also have an incredible Facebook community that is a part of Write Your Book, Build Your Brand also. And so I'll skip over all of the, all the accolades and all the amazing things that people say about myself and the program, because I know we've got some questions, and I want to make sure that I'm good on time. Jonah, let me know, make sure that I'm good with all of that. But we've got some great. Am I good?
Okay, yeah, you're doing great. You're doing all good. Yeah, we have a few questions coming in, but yeah, wrap up however you like, and then we'll hop in.
All right, cool. So I'll skip over all of this stuff, but these are great, just some of the amazing things that our published authors are saying about the program. And then some of the accolades. And like I said, Dee, she just spoke out in Dallas, but had her book launch released on Times Square. Like, it was absolutely amazing. I'm just so proud of her and what she's been able to do with this one manuscript. And she's just not stopping. She's taking it all the way to the top. And so this is, again, the writers who are in the program and what they've been able to do to actually finally finish the book that they've been holding on to because of Write Your Book, Build Your Brand. And some of the writers who are actively in the course right now, who are like, they're getting their critiques back. Joy says she got her MISS method, which is another one of the frameworks in the program. And she said, infused her with life and helped silence a lot of her fears. It's what we're all about in the program. And so we talk about our Q&A sessions and the breakout rooms that we have every so often. We break out into small cohorts on our live coaching calls, because it's helpful, right? It's really, really helpful. And this is what happens when you are surrounded by a team of writers, right? This is what myself and the base do. And so at the end, as a result of the program, you have a completely well-branded, well-written manuscript, a product you can sell over and over again, a resource to provide clients and potential clients, and a tool to increase brand exposure and credibility. And so these are the strategies that have helped our clients earn thousands of dollars, paid speaking engagements, all of these amazing things that have happened just because they've written one book. Now, Michael, I love Michael Collier. He's a client. We did 3 books with Michael. So that's a different conversation. But we worked with some pretty amazing writers and some amazing clients, and it just doesn't happen for it's not just because you work in one specific area or genre. This is for anybody. This is for any person with a message, with a story, with a heart to share and help other people. This is how we get these projects done. So again, highlighting all of the amazing writers some that we worked with. And so if all you could do was finish your book this year, would an opportunity in a program like this be worth it, right? If you were able to establish your authority in an industry, in any industry, would an opportunity, an investment like this be worth it, right? Is this something that would be worth it for you? If this helped you get your message out to more people, right? Is this something that would be worth it to you? And if it helped get you booked on stages to speak and to teach, would this opportunity be worth it for you? And so all of what we've done and the life-changing opportunities that we have, it's a good deal. It's a good deal when we see what the IRA with what happens with people, their income coming back, right? What that looks like is like tenfold on their investment. So you can see why it's a great deal at even a $10,000 investment. But that's not what we're offering it at. And so the ticket price, the base rate for the course, the program is $39.97. But because of Teachable and because it's an incredible opportunity tonight, we're doing a whole 50% off. We're slicing it. We're slicing that thing all the way down to $19.97. And that's an opportunity for today. And we're going to run it for the next 7 days. And so it is also pay in full. You can do a pay in full opportunity for $19.97, or you can do 4 payments of $525, right? 4 payments of $525, and that gets you in the program immediately. And for those of you who are interested in the pay in full, we do have a pay in full fast action bonus. So if you do pay in full for the course in the program, you get within the next 24 hours, right? If you pay in full within the next 24 hours, then you get 2 weeks of private mastermind training with me. right? And so that's 2 weeks of training where we get into writing your authority, understanding your voice, your brand positioning, and I help you tie it all together. And so 2 weeks of Inner Circle Mastermind with the Fast Action Bonus. And again, these are just some more of our amazing clients who have done some amazing things with one book and changed their lives. And this is the opportunity for today that I've got for you and with Teachable. So I just wanted to share that with you, and we can transition over to some Q&A. And I wanted to just make sure I gave you I'll ask you, if you've been hanging out this long, what path you're on, right? Are you going to keep going that same road, or are you going to make a decision to do something different today? Are you going to keep holding on to this book and trying to figure it out by yourself? Or are you going to partner with myself and the team and people who can help you get it done, right? So the choice is yours. The choice is yours tonight to make a decision and decide. And so if you want to get in touch, first of all, you can register for the course and you'll be automatically enrolled and have access to myself in the Bays. Or you can visit us at literarybays.com or follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Sharai Robbin. And so that's all I got for you guys. That's all my information. And yeah.
Ooh, that's all is hardly fair to say. Oh, that's so. I just wanted to call out real quick. B Rose, I think, put it very well. I feel empowered rather than overwhelmed. Yay. Thank you so much, Sharai. Holy heck, that was a lot of awesome information. But I agree with her 100%, though. Everything is actionable and palatable. It's just not the way I ever thought about writing a book.
Yay.
So, for everyone watching, before I'm going to ask Sharai a couple questions just about her course and all of that. But now is an awesome time to pop your questions into the Q&A. I know we had a couple rolling already. Before I get into the other questions, just wanted to say thank you. Just wanted to make clear everybody knew that the link for the course is in the description of the video. It's also in the comments. It's pinned at the top, and it will be emailed to you with the replay of the video as well. But it's only a week. You have an opportunity to make that discount. And then you said just to be clear, there was the 24 hours for the actual coaching with you, right?
Yep, for the pay in full. Yep, if you did 24 hours.
Okay, awesome. Now I wanted to find, there was one question that came up as we can start getting into here. West Coaster, California. This came a little earlier, but it was, do you need to research other books in the same niche first? And so I think that's also just kind of a saturation question. Like, if you're going out to write a book, do you want to be the only person in that genre writing a book, or what are your opinions on that?
Yeah, so research is everything. Research is a huge part of our module 2. We do a lot of research. And so I won't say first. It's not the first point. We go first to what you want first. What's your pain, right? What are you purposed, and you decide that you want to share? Because there's really I don't believe there's a whole lot of oversaturation. When I think about, when I ask people, have you ever eaten at McDonald's, or you ever eaten at Wendy's, you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? Like, there's people like all variations of fast foods, and they're all sometimes on the same strip, right? If you go down the bread aisle, there's 90 different types of bread, right? So I don't want you to worry about your message being oversaturated. Think about what you still have a purpose no matter what. But then you get into the research to determine what your specific audience is looking for. So that may drive you to look at other books that your audience is reading. We recommend that you go to Amazon and you search what books are out there, and look at the positive reviews and the negative reviews. What are people saying about those books? Do they like those type of books? Are they impactful? Is there something missing that you can fill in that specific genre? So I wouldn't lead with research in other books first, because that might influence you to not be genuine to what you are called to write, but stick to what you want first, and then go and do the research so that it can validate what you're all about to begin with.
I love that. So you get both sides of it in the process. Cheers. Yeah. And I think you kind of answered this in your course, but it's worth asking, do you help with children's books as well?
I do not help with children's books, but I do have some really great friends in the industry. And so if you, and I don't know, and I didn't leave my email, but our email is hello@literarybays.com.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I see. I'm so sorry. Gotcha.
Yeah, no worries. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. But the email is hello@literarybabe.com. And so I don't know if I can put that in the chat anywhere, but it's hello@literarybabe.com. And if you have questions or if you're looking for that referral, you can send over an email and just ask that question, and I can send that information over to you. I've got two really good friends, and we're actually working on an edit for a children's book for my friend's company.
Awesome.
And they publish children's books.
Love that. Let's get another question here. Nonprofit Utopia. Do you make referrals to to photographers and other professionals to make sure the book looks polished?
I do.
Awesome.
Yeah. I absolutely do. I like to work with very high quality people. So I refer graphic designers, I refer photographers, people who have done well for me and have helped me serve our clients. And I'm always up for great relationship building. Absolutely.
That's so awesome. We'll see if other questions are rolling in here, but in the interim too, I just wanted to ask, like, I'm so curious, what are you working on book-wise yourself, if you can talk about that?
Yeah.
At the moment, because the whole time I'm just like, what's she doing at the moment?
Okay, so right now I am finishing. We've got 4 ghostwrites on doc. So once those are finished, I have some personal projects that I really want to work on. I have a nonprofit that we're working on, actually creating some content for the school districts, and I want to actually teach creative writing in inner cities. So we've developed some curriculum, and we're doing some grant building in that area. So once we wrap up with these 4 ghostwrites, and then I'm done. I'm not doing another ghostwrite for a while. The team will probably take on some ghostwrites, but Mama's out of it for a minute. I've written a lot of books in a very short amount of time. And so I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to continue to coach and teach because I love to teach, if you can't tell. But I enjoy it very much. But then I'll be transitioning. Well, I'll be going into teaching just a different way, for the young adults.
So have you written a book in under 90 days?
It's usually right at that cutoff.
That's right.
It's right. It's usually right about that time because your brain needs a break.
Right.
It really is that taxing. We're going to work tonight, and then after that, I'm probably going to be tired. So it takes some time to give yourself a moment. You can't do it all in 2 or 3 days. You really do need some time. So and sometimes procrastination kicks in. I might go paint my toes or something. So it's like give yourself the window. So I told the group today, we had our coaching call today. Give yourself the grace to take a break. So you don't feel pressured to do this all so fast. So 90 days, it's holding a gun to your head. If no one's like, you have to have this turned in by tomorrow, don't put that pressure on yourself. Give yourself the space to work through it and learn. If you've never written a book before, allow yourself the space to fumble through it and get it right before you beat yourself up, because then you'll feel bad, then you'll quit, and then there's no book.
And that's a cycle too, right? You just get over and over. And then next year, your resolution is to write a book again.
We're right back here.
We've all been.
So many people I meet at different events. Well, when the world was open, it's opened up again, thank God. But that's a whole nother conversation. But nonetheless, people I would meet at different places, and you would be surprised to see them years later, and they're still struggling. They're like, "Oh, Sharai, I should have." Oh, I'm like, "What happened to the book? I didn't." Oh, I should have. Oh,
yeah.
It's like, yep.
So. Yep. Well, and making an investment can help push us, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we had one more question, then I think we got to wrap it up with time. Sure. But Alexander was asking, have you worked with African writers, and do you have examples to share? I assume they mean like African writers, not just African American, but yeah.
I would assume that too. So I have had one experience with a writer, and unfortunately she did not finish the project. It was a very traumatic story. And so we went through a lot of pain in the process, and we got closer to the finish line, and then she just kind of ran away. And so she was kind of hard to get back a hold to. So that was a challenge. So I don't have an example of specific finished product from someone who is from Africa. Unfortunately, I don't, but I do have a lot of African American clients, but not particularly from Africa. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What I imagine, even if you're almost done with a book, especially traumatic stories can get scarier the closer you are to releasing it into the
For
world.
releasing it.
Yep.
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 That's exactly what happens. And no,
Yep.
and sometimes I coach you through, but she was terrified and she couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, not to end on a dark
I know,
note
right?
there.
So
I know,
I'm
but
like,
no, but
I was trying to
we
that.
do, yeah, we do have to wrap up just for time's sake. But thank you so much, Sharai, and
Oh,
you
my
gave a lot
pleasure.
of value. And I know it was only 3 secrets, but those 3 secrets alone blew my mind.
Yay.
And to everyone watching, please hop in the comments. Feel free to share your biggest takeaway, just
Yes.
thanking Sharai for her time, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, how you heard about it, anything like what you're going to go and do next as far as your journey to writing your book. And if you like this video, if you like this event, please like and subscribe to the Discover YouTube channel. We're trying to bring more people like Sharai out here to share their value and stories. Before we call it quits today, I did want to ask you, Sharai, just if you had any last little bit of parting advice for people on their journey to actually putting out their book.
Stay the course. Stay the course. And recognize that you do not have to wait until you're finished writing to get an editor. That is a huge misconception. You
Mm,
can get help now. If you're struggling with writing a book, you can get writing support today. You do not have to go at it alone. So don't get that out of your head. Get the help that you need, and just stay the course. It's going to, writing is a process. Just trust the process and keep going. Don't quit.
love it. Well, thank you so much.
You're more
Uh,
than welcome.
yeah,
Appreciate you.
you as well. Have a wonderful
Thank
day. And
you.
to everyone watching, have a beautiful day as well.
Thank
And
you
we'll see you
guys.
again soon. Bye,
All right.
Sharai.
Bye bye.